college basketball season is officially here, and it begins title defense for the UConn Lady Huskies and then for the Florida Gators men's basketball team. With those thoughts in mind, some of the big things that we're going to be looking at, we're going to start off with the ladies. Juju Watkins is going to be out for the 2025-2026 season, which is unfortunate, but this era of women's college basketball has blessed us with a lot of superstars. So with that in mind, with her being out of the lineup, Elijah, who do you believe will take over as that mainstay player in women's college basketball?
I'm gonna go Ozzie Fudd for UConn. Last year, mm, last year Paige, I think she kind of outplayed Paige in some of the aspects. I think as a team MVP, I think she was a team MVP for UConn and for them to enjoy that ride. Don't get me wrong; she didn't play well against Oklahoma or USC, but she didn't shy away from the moment in the national championship game. She had 24 points against South Carolina. Um, Played very well, shot over 50% from the floor. Her, how can I say this? Her defense is underrated because she can get in the passing lane, steal the basketball, get it, and then bring it back and score off a turnover, or she can come off a pick and roll and knock down a three. We've seen it last year. Ozzie Fudd will be somebody to keep your eye on. Again, she scored 24 points in that win against South Carolina national championship. It was telling you the lights is not too bright for her. Juno Oriema knows how to get these girls ready to play at a high level. For instance, we all know the Renee Montgomerys in the world. We all know the Maya Moores in the world, Brianna Stewart's, Paige Beckers, and now we got Ozzie Fudd. So I think she's going to be ready to take it to that spotlight and hopefully continue to reign as one of the UConn, and not only UConn, but women's college basketball greats.
Yeah, man, it's a ton of ladies that are superstars. Obviously, you have Johnson down here in Louisiana at LSU, Hannah Hidalgo over there with Notre Dame. But for me, it's going to be somebody that was a superstar last year. She just wasn't on a complete team, and that's Tanaya Latson. She was the leading scorer in the country last season. And then her final game last year with the Seminoles, she scored 30 points in a 40-point loss against LSU. I mean, she was giving them buckets for much of the game. Now she transfers and goes to a automatic contender for a championship in the South Carolina Gamecocks under an elite coach like Don Staley. I think the way that she can score the basketball, being a three-level scorer, and obviously she doesn't have Chloe Kitts there because she's going to be out for the year. But just that team camaraderie that South Carolina always seems to have every single year is going to put her in position to be able to shine to where she will have to score the basketball, but she won't have to drop 40. She won't have to drop 30 every single night in order to be successful. She can have those nights where she can come in and drop those big game, opportunities, but there are also times when she can give the basketball to her teammates and be able to let them eat. And so I'm taking Tanaya Latson. I also wouldn't be surprised if Flage or Michaela Williams. I feel like Michaela Williams can be a dark horse as somebody that gets a lot of respect in women's college basketball because, man, I've been watching that girl since she was, back at school
Parkway.
at Parkway. Yeah, man. And I mean, like, just the way that she could score the basketball, very fluid jump shot, clean with the way that she can get to the cup. And then with Jada Rishaw running the point. Shout out to her, an alum of the show, and also a Lafayette native. I think that they're going to be special. But for me, I think Tanaya Latson is definitely going to take the spotlight in women's college basketball. So, like we said, there's a lot of women's games that are going to be going on, but there are also a lot of men's action that's going on. And it's the begin of the title of defense for the Florida Gators after they got that epic victory over the Houston Cougars in the national championship game not too long ago. So now that it's a new season, who do you feel like will be the team that can truly contend with Florida in the championship picture?
The team that was almost there last year, Duke. I'll be honest with you. I saw Duke play last Sunday against Tennessee, and I'm not saying a knock on Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to be a good team. I think they're going to be like really, really good. But Duke had another switch that they went to. Put like this: Tennessee came out shooting like over 40% in the first half defensively. Duke came out there and shut that down and They only shot 30%. I think they caused 8 turnovers in the second half as well. And then I'm gonna be honest with you, that Boozer kid is the real deal. Cameron Boozer is the real deal. He gives me. I know what I'm about to say, and I know you're about to scratch your head to this, but he gives me LeBron-esque vibes, meaning he can control the game. He controlled the pace. He had a 20-20 game in that game against Tennessee. The exhibition game before, he dropped 33. He knows how to get up there, go to rebound, control it, and defensively, he is like one of those guys that you're probably not going to score against. He is the real deal. I kid you not. It's 30 teams in the NBA. There was over 50 scouts at that basketball game last week. NBA scouts. So that's telling you something. That Duke team is going to be real. One thing they said in the presser with that coach was they got some guys that's still out, and if they are as good as they say when they come back, Duke may run away with this one. So
I have to agree with you, man. I have to agree with you. I forgot that the Boozer twins are on this team. The Cayden is the other one, which also makes us feel really old because Carlos Boozer was playing as we were growing up. Duke had the number one recruiting class coming in, like you mentioned about the Boozer twins, and how they're able to take over a game. And it's less about having a very skillful team or a veteran team, so to speak. It's more about getting some of the fresh and best talent that you can possibly have on the court every single night. And if those guys are able to contribute those numbers, and if they can stay consistent, that's going to be the main thing early on. If Duke can come out and play consistent basketball out of the gate in non-conference, once they switch over and get into ACC play, they're going to be able to run through things. Obviously they'll have to contend with North Carolina, NC State, and other schools like that. But man, I agree with you, bro. Duke is going to be something serious, and it's going to be very hard for them to, unless they just have a complete collapse there on the back half of the season. It's going to be very hard to not see them making a deep postseason run and trying to make it there to the Final Four. Obviously we saw what Cooper Flag did last year on that squad, and so they're just going to continue to pump out great talent, man. It's going to be exciting to see. I think the tip off tonight, one of the mainstay games is like Arizona taking on Florida, and it's going to be on like TNT or something like that. Let me double check just to make sure with men's college basketball. So we know that for you guys, and you have that in your repertoire as you're probably watching this episode. Um, yes, Florida takes on Arizona, which Arizona is a really good basketball team too. And this, like I said, this is going to be the beginning of a title defense for the Florida Gators. That's going to tip off at 6 o'clock, so that gets everything going. UConn too, man. Like they won back-to-back championships. They have an opportunity to try to get back on the path that they once were on. It's hard to recreate so much success in so many different years back to back to back, especially at a championship level. Um, but they'll have a chance to do that as well. They open up against New Haven, so that should be pretty a pretty slight dub for them against your people, man. Against your people for sure. We'll see. We'll see how it all wraps up for them. Um,
I think I agree with you though. I think you said UConn, but yeah, you're right about it. I'm trying to tell you that Duke team. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. They got people coming off the bench that could be starting for other teams. Like I don't know what they did. It was just they flipped the switch. It was like they came out lax in the first half, just whatever. Then that second half came, boy, it was like, and they length, they got good. And then, like I said, Cameron Boozer, I'm be honest with you, he may be the player of the year when it comes down to the men's side of the basketball. And don't get me wrong, I know Cayenne Anthony's there, I know Nate Amet's there, I know Bronny James, not Bronny, Bryce James is in Arizona, Arizona State,
no, Arizona.
Arizona guys. That Carlos Boozer's sons, really particularly Cameron, he liked that. He liked that. He like that, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. He like that.
Hey, the sons of a lot of Hall of Famers going to be on the big stage in college basketball for this season. So we'll be keeping our eyes on what they're able to do.